That's okay. Thanks very much indeed, Inder. Right, I'd like to introduce you now to Richard Alexander from Calor, Ireland. Richard's a long history with Calor and working with gas. From the point of view of what he's going to chat to us about today, it's really for those of you who are not on the gas grid but would perhaps like to look at gas. I think Richard has an alternative.
Lovely, thank you, Conor. Yes, my discussion topic this afternoon is providing gas solutions beyond the natural gas network. I know that it's usually the fuel choice or the preferred fuel choice for many industrial producers and factories to have natural gas on site. But we live in a rural island. There's a lot of producers here who do not have that as an option. And I'm going to go through the next 20 minutes or so to basically give you an insight into those who have already made the switch. And I know there are actually quite a number in the room here who have opted for the different gas solution in rural Ireland. So my contents today is the fuel beyond the natural gas network, fuel solutions, why consider LPG, otherwise known as liquefied petroleum gas, and also gas technologies for the food sector. I'm going to talk briefly about steam production, and you're going to hear from actually a customer of ours, Dairygold, who made a switch in one of their feed mills. I'm going to talk to you briefly about water heating, and again that's from equipment upgrade from Foyle and Donegal, and also a few technology opportunities that have come to the market over recent years. So fuel beyond the natural gas network. Many of you have various considerations. It could be the input fuel cost. A major factor that's often overlooked is your maintenance costs. You may even consider the overall system efficiency, the available technologies. Security of energy supply is becoming quite critical. The environmental impact, and also your carbon footprint. So in Ireland you have basically several fuel options, primarily oil. Now that could be kerosene, gas oil, medium fuel oil, heavy fuel oil. You also have electricity. There's renewables in terms of biomass. I put up on this slide LNG, liquefied natural gas, because I know that many of you have control of factories outside the island of Ireland. It may be in GB, it may even be in Central Europe. That may be an option for you. What I'm here to talk about is liquefied petroleum gas. So what exactly is LPG? What is the carbon footprint? What's the financial benefits? And in summary, why consider LPG? Well, very simply, LPG, liquefied petroleum gas, is also created when you're producing natural gas from the borehole. It comes out as a byproduct of the industry. It also comes from the production of liquefied natural gas, and it also comes from the refining crude oil. So roughly 60% comes from natural gas production, and 40% of the global world comes from oil refining. Now that's going to change because of fracking, especially in America, where we're now starting to see that America as such is no longer depending on imported fuel from other parts of the world. They're now actually starting to export product. So over this last 18 months, there's been a massive switch in the demand of energy globally. So the fuel solution, why consider LPG? Well, quite simply, a lot of the energy consumption in Ireland is currently oil. In terms of carbon footprint, if you're using kerosene and you make a straight switch to LPG without any system efficiency upgrade, without any additional or less energy input, you will see a 10% saving in your carbon footprint. If you're using gas oil, there's a 13% immediate switch. If you're on heavy fuel oil, it's a 16% switch. And if you're using electricity, it's roughly a 53% switch. Now, in terms of electricity, I'm not talking about carbon neutral or that produced from renewables such as wind turbines. I'm talking about the official figures from the SEAI from all the various sources of electricity produced on the island. In terms of carbon tax, LPG is also recognised it has a lower carbon footprint and therefore has a lower tax threshold. As you can see, there's roughly a 52% reduction compared to heavy fuel oil. Gas oil is 47%, and in terms of kerosene, it's 42%. So the LPG option, reduced carbon tax costs, which has a financial benefit. Availability of product. There's a very well-established supply chain globally, and Ireland, we have very high reserves of LPG, so we have no concerns about if there was problems with the natural gas supply chain coming into the island. We would have any time, 1 to 3 months supply, so supply issues are not an issue. We're also part of a global operation throughout 27 countries in the world, headed up by Mr. Ken Wilson from Monaghan. He controls our business operations globally and is a very strong emphasis on Ireland and ensuring that gas supply will reach Ireland. One of the major factors that has been a consideration for people making the switch has been environmental. In some cases there's been either fuel theft, and in some cases the fuel theft has led to quite a significant spillage. We've had a number of customers switching from oil to gas purely because the insurance company is no longer going to underwrite if they have another spillage, or they continually keep getting fuel stolen. So that doesn't become an issue when you come to terms with LPG, when you're storing it in vessels on site. They don't have the facilities to take it away. You use it on site. Lower running costs. We have, over the next few slides, I'm going to talk about direct fired solutions and the fact that you can actually use gas directly to produce hot water very efficiently. And the case study for Foyle Meats in Donegal is the example I'm going to show you on that case. Reduced equipment and maintenance costs. I'm sure many of you who already work with natural gas, literally you'll find that, especially in a steam boiler plant, you have minimal maintenance costs. Well, the exact same happens in terms of LPG. It burns exactly the same. The carbon, or the byproducts, is basically water vapor and carbon dioxide. So you have certainly you don't have the issues with corrosion. NOxes and SOxes are significantly reduced. That can be a factor again whenever it has to be included in the overall cost of operating your equipment. And tailored pricing. As part of our global operation, we can now offer fixed contract periods for 12 months ahead where people can budget their energy supply. There's no fluctuations daily, monthly. I mean, they're literally guaranteed, they're locked into a value, and again, that can happen for up to 12 months ahead. So the key benefits. There's immediate and global availability. The environmental benefits in terms of your carbon footprint. It's a natural byproduct of the natural gas industry. Transportation flexibility. Literally anywhere in Ireland we can get you a gas supply as long as there's a road network. In some cases we even supply gas to run telecommunications masts where they have generators on site halfway up mountainsides. As long as we have a track we can get there. And there's such a diverse application. I mean, I've driven here today in a gas car. You may use gas fork trucks. You may have it for your ovens and your bakeries. You may use it for cooking in kitchens or bakeries. It's the same product essentially. So technology for use in the food sector. This is where I'm going to let the customers speak for themselves. You tend to find in the food industry that it's primarily steam production and hot water production is key. And I'll also touch at the end on energy reduction opportunities. So here's a typical steam boiler cross section. Predominantly in Ireland, we're dependent on oil. But it could simply be just the fact that you don't have to change the steam boiler. All you have to do is possibly change the burner at the front of it. You're not starting to rip out a boiler house. We do recommend that you look at all the different energy measures that you can take that should be incorporated in the design. But what we would always recommend is a fully modulating gas burner system. And for those of you today here technically minded is to reduce all the different purge cycles if you're using a two-stage burner system. With gas, you also have the option of installing what's called a flue gas economizer. And I'll talk a little bit like that on the end, but that can again increase your efficiency gains. So here's a case study for Dairygold.
My name is Tony Mannix and I'm the operations manager on the milling grain side of the business for Dairygold. We manufacture feedstuffs here for the farming communities in and around Munster. We'd be one of the biggest mills in the country, manufacturing the region of 250,000 tonnes per annum. We expect that to increase by 20 to 30% in the next 5 to 6 years with the abolition of quotas, and as farmers are developing further as we move towards 2020. Steam is one of our biggest energy users. It's used to manufacture pellets, which is part of the process in manufacturing feedstuffs. About 2 years ago, we were pretty vulnerable in the area of boiler maintenance. We were looking around to see how we could improve both our energy costs and future-proof the plant as well. Our main source of energy up to that was heavy fuel oil, and because of the heavy carbon footprint, we needed to look more to the future. With Calor, we did a study on the plant and found out that there was huge cost-saving benefits to be had by changing to gas, and Calor were the most professional company that we have come across. We found that from a safety point of view as well as a professional point of view, Calor were the best out there.
My name is Donald Doyle. I'm the maintenance manager here in Lumberstown Mill for Dairygold. The main benefit has been the reliability of the actual boilers. The gas burners will always start. The maintenance time that we have to spend on them has been reduced by at least 8 to 10 hours a week. Having a standby boiler there live, so in case the heavy fuel oil boiler would break down on us, has been eliminated. Now the benefits for us have been huge.
Well, the single biggest benefit is that the boiler house itself has been totally cleaned up. We have big cost savings as a result. Our steam energy bill is probably reduced by a minimum of 10%. We're in our first year, and we believe that we can create more efficiencies going forward.
And that was Tony Mannix, the General Manager of Dairygold, who made the switch again, but this time last year. They've been operating the system and they're, as you can see, very pleased with the outcome. Tony would admit himself that LPG initially wasn't an option they'd even considered. They went out to the market, they could see what was happening. Especially in Europe, there's quite a switch away from certain other types of fuels. And he invited us in to speak to him, and we come up with a solution for him. And again, 12 months later, thankfully, he's very pleased. He's very open if anyone here would like to even speak to him to ask about the whole changeover process. The second subject I'll talk about is water heating, and this is where we're using very high efficiency gas water heating, where you literally have the gas flame inside where the water is actually spraying. If you look at the water heater itself, the gas burner blows down from the top. It blows into a chamber where there's a lot of stainless steel pellets. The water is actually sprayed in the top through the flame. It comes in contact with the stainless steel pellets. That warms the water up, and then it sits at the bottom in a collection tank, and that then is pumped off at whatever temperature they require. So what's the benefits? What they're getting is what they call, or the Americans call, complete thermal exchange. So the hot combustion gases are actually in contact with the water. The system is proven to be up to 99% efficient. They don't use that figure lightly. I mean, literally the combustion products are in the area where the water, and there's complete transfer. Again, this has been proven that 99% is effective. And the water temperature, significant flexibility. So again, you can raise water again from 10 degrees right up through to 95. I know that in many different applications, whether it be meat plants, whether it be a dairy, whatever, you have certain times of day where you need different temperatures. The electronics in the system can literally vary the temperature at certain times of the day, depending on what your requirements are. We also provide, that gives you a basic, the previous solution gives you a storage water tank. In this solution for the smaller industries, we also provide an instantaneous solution. So literally there's no hot water storage. You only pay effectively for the fuel input when you need water at whatever temperature you require it. So the water comes in cold, it goes through a heat exchanger, and it goes out exactly the temperature that you want it at. So it supplies purely water on demand. It's modular design, so you can literally piecemeal 1, 2, 3, depending what your maximum flow rate could be. The temperature tolerance is very accurate, within 1 degree. And again, it eliminates the cost of actually storage of hot water. So a company that made a decision actually 2 years ago to make the switch was Foyle Meats up in Donegal, their meat processing plant. And again, I let the customer speak for themselves. They used significant due diligence. They went off and looked at meat plants throughout Europe. They came back. Again, LPG wasn't an option that they considered. Come back, and since then, they have actually switched 3 of their plants over to gas.
I'm Sharon Scott, Efficiency Manager with Foyle Donegal, which is a abattoir and beef boning facility. In Foyle Donegal, we primarily need heat to generate hot water. Our hot water requirements vary depending on our process, so we need 82 degrees sterilisation water in our abattoir. We need 45 degrees water for hand washing and 65 degrees water for washing down our factories. We decided to look into other options for our heating requirements due to rising energy costs and carbon footprinting, which is a major factor for us and our customers. The consultation period with Calor was very easy in conjunction with their engineering department. The changeover process went very smoothly. Since we switched to LPG with Calor, we have seen our energy costs decrease and our carbon footprint has also improved. Switching to LPG in combination with new technologies has allowed for greater efficiencies to be made within the facility and in turn reduced our energy costs. The biggest benefit for Foyle Donegal is reduced maintenance and improved efficiency.
So again, a company that made the switch and proven within 2 years was a significant investment, but they totally eliminated steam in their site, in their meat plant, and up to that point they were heavily reliant on steam. Well, why? One of the questions is wasted energy. As obviously we've all talked about sustainability. I totally agree that we need to capture all the energy we can. One of the solutions that's recently come in, that's been used in America and has now been used in other industries, including the pharmaceuticals in Ireland, is a piece of kit called a gas-fired heat pump. Now, it can either be an air source or a water source heat pump that can actually absorb the heat from, say, your air compressors or your effluent treatment plant or whatever, and actually utilise it back in to your heating system, whether that be heating, hot water, or for feed water for your steam generation system. Again, it's been used very effectively, very high efficiency, and again, proven to work in the States. The technology is now operating in Ireland. Very briefly, when using gas, and my last point is, you can use what's called a flue gas economiser, and we heard about thermal exchanges earlier this morning, where a flue gas economiser in this case can drop the temperature within the boiler from 250 degrees, which is fairly normal, down to about 150 degrees. And that hot water is then used within the process. Very effective use, and can only be used in gas, whether that be natural gas or an LPG. In general, there's an energy saving in around the range of 5%, and that's the feedback we're getting from customers who actually install it, that they're getting that type of saving. So for a large energy user, 5% can make a significant improvement in your overall financial bill. I think that's me almost finished. I've got a final video.
Established in 1937, Calor has over 75 years' experience in supplying gas. In fact, we're the leading supplier and distributor of liquefied petroleum gas, or LPG, in Ireland. Calor operate gas terminals in Belfast, Cork and Dublin, with additional distribution depots in Claremorris and Sligo. Today, Calor deliver energy solutions and provide energy consultation services to businesses all over the country. Calor currently supply LPG directly to over 12,000 commercial customers and over 40,000 domestic customers, and also through a network of over 3,000 retail outlets across Ireland. Calor Ireland is part of SHV Energy, a family-owned multinational organisation that consists of a group of specialised energy companies. SHV Energy employs over 14,000 people to service the needs of over 30 million customers, providing energy for hundreds of applications. SHV Energy is the largest dedicated global LPG distributor with a network of 27 business units over 3 continents. What benefits does liquefied petroleum gas offer your business over other fuels? LPG is portable, versatile, manageable and cleaner. What Calor promise you? Unrivaled experience in the LPG industry, consultation on your business's energy needs, a range of tailored solutions for heating, drying and other manufacturing processes, the security of a reliable fuel supply from the largest gas supply network and tanker fleet in Ireland, and automatic top-up telemetry so you need never run out. The benefits of choosing Calor are clear: security of supply, cost-efficient energy solutions, project management expertise and engineering excellence. Calor, now you can.
Thank you.
So we'll